Welcome to the Talk and Chatter experience powered by Gasoline Alley Harley Davidson and M33 Productions. For all your photo and video requirements, get in touch with us today. My guest today is Christina Vithoulkas. Christina had a motorcycle accident in 2018 that changed the course of her life. She had come up short on a jump that damaged her T5 vertebrae, which left her a paraplegic. In the weeks after the accident, Christina was determined to be the quickest person out of the Rehabilitation Centre. And she was. Christina has a zest and raw passion for life that is infectious and an inspiration. Head over to our iTunes to give us a rating and a review, and make sure you hit subscribe on YouTube.
Do you want me to introduce myself?
Yeah, please.
Hi guys, I'm here with Mick. I'm Christina Vithoulkas.
I'm glad we got that intro out of the way because we've done it a few times now, and I really can't do your last name live because I'm pretty nervous about it. So I've probably thought about it for too many days, but welcome, Christina V.
Thank you.
Well, you're in Queensland.
Yep.
You've obviously been travelling around for a bit now, doing some different things. Who's Christina?
Good question. She is a 26-year-old from South Australia, country girl, a twin, so there's two of me. The other one can walk, and I am still discovering myself. I think that's the best part about life that I'm finding right now, that you can always change and not be the same person. So at the moment, she's addicted to travelling, building a drift car, and just having fun.
It's a pretty cool way to follow your path. You sort of just creating it along, plotting it out, sort of thing. Every sort of step you go, and sitting down talking to you before we got in. That sort of seems how you are at the moment, just cruising along, just doing your thing, what you want to do. Yeah. Yeah,
just wherever the wind takes me, I'm going with the flow.
How does that feel?
It feels very liberating, and like I say to most people, for someone that's paralyzed, I don't like to sit still, and I feel like a lot of people that pity me or feel sorry for me since having the accident 3 years ago, I always laugh inside of my head, because it's just you may have your legs and you might be sitting in front of me, but I just think of your mind and think your mind might be more paralyzed than my legs would ever be. So I'm out here living my life with no limitations, and it's just great.
I absolutely appreciate that attitude, and I think it's something that, just judging by what I've seen of yourself, and I've followed your journey vicariously on the outside, it was probably something you had already anyway, wasn't it?
Yeah, I had someone message me the other day did you just wake up like this and decide to live life? But I feel like I had that attitude before my injury. My injury just highlighted it to Instagram, and it was a perfect example to be putting it to the test and putting it on some sort of platform where people could see how will she handle it, where I feel before my injury, I had this before, no one noticed it besides myself. So
people have things in a shell, hey?
Yeah.
It's there, but sometimes something needs to present itself to be out.
Yeah, or I used to always think of what's that show? Not America's Got Talent, all those X Factors, and you'd always be what's their feel sorry for me story? Their parents died, or they had this, and you always say does someone always have to have a story? And I remember saying to myself, I feel like I have that, but without the story. Now it's oh shit, now I got the story. now I'm one of those okay, I paralyzed myself, but there's people out there that could have the exact same mindset of me and not understand that they don't need that behind them to be someone that's this resilient.
That's one of the incredible. Are you going on Australia's Got Talent?
No.
Are you singing?
I cannot sing.
Well, there goes that thing. Well, you clearly got an echo in the room earlier. So that is so true as an observation, though. You see it, and every time it's such and such has happened to me, and it's the producers of that just must dig into that to try and get that. There's never a nice story that comes through it. Yeah,
or it's just people I feel you just don't need to have that to have an excuse to live your life and chase your dreams and stuff like that. It shouldn't be like that. I wish people could have seen that before my accident, and they would have realised, when the accident happened, they would have been we weren't shocked with the way Christina responded, because they would have already known me. But everyone was so shocked, and I was in hospital, I'm guys, and even the guy that held my neck when I paralysed myself, Jeremy Nanks, shout out, he was holding my neck for an hour while I was waiting for the ambos. And he messaged me not long ago and he goes, I remember in hospital, Christina, you said like you're so happy that it happened to you because you're the one out of all of us that could handle it. And just crazy. Like I knew I'd be able to handle it before, and just I'm glad people can believe it now, and they've obviously witnessed it.
Funny statement, that.
Yeah.
You know, that I've got two friends that one's a fiery.
Yep.
And the other one's Defence Force, and one of them held a motorcycle rider until the end, sort of thing. And I'm like, I don't know how you did it. And some people have a thing in them that he said to me, he goes, I'm the one that should be there because I can handle that.
Yeah.
I'm like, and same obviously with yourself within that. And my other ones are fiery, and some of the accidents they go to on, you know, road collisions and stuff. I just how do you do it? And he goes, well, there's certain people like me in the world that can do it. So that's why I do it. I'm like, yeah, it makes sense. I never ever thought about it until those couple of conversations, I guess.
Yeah. And I guess I can't really understand it because I only know it from my perspective.
Yep.
But I just knew, I was like, this is fine. Like I can go down this path.
Yep, I'm right with it. What were you as a kid? You a biker or what?
No.
Who was Christina?
Never even rode a dirt bike. We did have a quad, like a four-wheeler. Me and Irene would like finish school and like even like in high school, I remember the school bus would drop us off down the driveway. We have like a 200-meter long driveway, and we would like power walk as we get close to the house and like run to the quad to see who could ride it first. And we'd just go around the block. Now that I think of it, it kind of makes sense with like the whole drift car and wanting to go fast, because Irene and I would literally go sit on the corner of our property and wait for a semi-truck to come around, and would sit there, and as soon as a semi-truck would come, we'd both like just drag it along the highway, but like on our property. So we had that like adrenaline rush, I guess, and always outdoors, always playing in the mud. In high school, we only had like really guy friends. In primary school and high school, I remember Mr. B, my teacher, would come over to us and he's like, girls, you got to hang out with the girls sometimes. I'm like, nah, like we want to be with the boys. So I don't know, me and Irene were always a bit of like, tomboys and outgoing, and we always had each other. But didn't find dirt bikes till I was like 19 years old. So that's when, life kind of changed from there.
When you got to dirt bikes, was that like a door opening? Did that change? It did?
Yeah, I remember one of my exes had it, and I jumped on the back, and like straight away, like sitting on the back of the bike within like the first few minutes, I was just like, I need my own. Like I can't even handle being behind him. Like I need to be in front, controlling one of these. It was the first time on a dirt, like a two-wheeler. And like within a couple of weeks, found a 85 CR85 two-stroke. God, it's been so long. And got one straight away.
So straight into it at that point. Yep.
Yeah.
And jumps, everything like.
First day riding those 85 out at Port Gawler. Second gear, didn't know how to use a clutch. I think I just knew the brakes and rode around this enduro track in second gear. I couldn't even change because I was so scared, just petrified of like falling. Took me about, I think it was like a year before I even hit a jump. I was so scared. And the moment I hit a jump, I think it was like actually a year and a half about, I hit my first jump, a tabletop, and I remember because I was like, fuck yeah, this is sick. Like, I just did the biggest jump, and I remember going to my ex, like, can I see the video? And it was literally like, like a 30 centimetre air time. But within 4 months, I went to SA Ride Park and hit 50 foot on my first day. So it kind of like just,
accelerated quick.
Yeah, really quick.
It's, whether it be drift or, bikes or anything, it's an addiction, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Addiction to like, Mum hates it when I say this, but I'm always just like, everything that makes me feel like I'm about to die, like, that's what I like. Like, it's that like close to death experience where you're feeling like you're about to die, but you're actually the most alive in that moment.
And you sort of, you've removed yourself from it. You've pulled back a little bit from that. Nice.
Honestly, I still plan to get back into the dirt bike scene. I love it. Like I will never, like I can't see myself ever getting rid of a dirt bike. It's just the drift car that I'm building at the moment has cost so much money that I cannot afford to even look at the dirt bike.
Well, there's probably like, at the current rate of things are, it's probably like 10 houses in a drift car to build one at the moment. So what are you building?
S13 with a LS1 motor in it. I'm still learning everything about it, but when I went, same thing happened with the drifting. I went drifting for the first time, and the first corner, it was just like that, the same type of, I don't even know how to explain it. It was just like epiphany moment. I was just like, it reminded me of the day I went on a dirt bike for the first time. So I knew when I went on that first corner, I was just like, okay, now my life's going to be taken over by a drift car. Like,
it's on. Yep.
Just the same way as the dirt bikes did. Like with the dirt bikes, I remember I was new to it and I was still out there riding. I was studying uni, working, and I'd still manage to ride 3 times a week. I used to take a 10-litre jerry can with me to the track and go through it. Like the fuel, that, like I would not stop. I would be the first one at Port Gawler. The owners knew me. They would even come out and they'd be like, yep, Christina, we're just going to go start packing up this, like you're right to go till dark, and I would be the last one leaving. So I just, if I'm going to do something, I just like get full passionate about it. And with the drift car, like that's what I'm doing now.
So you'll be at Archerfield.
Yeah, so when I was looking at my land, I was like, first thing I did, check my address and I put it how close to Archerfield. I'm like, oh, sweet, 20 minutes from Archerfield. Like, that's perfect.
Perfect. I can tow it there. No dramas. Yeah. That's cool. Like, it's one of those things, like if you're into something, why not do it?
Yeah.
You know, why not get into it as much as possible? I
think it's like the feeling that you get from it, not having passions growing up. I think like missed out on that growing up. I could always see like my mates wakeboarding or like horse riding or like just doing something, and I just never had that something. Like,
why?
I don't know. I had my sister. I think we just had each other, my family. We loved traveling overseas, but it's just, I guess you don't find something that you love unless you try it. And if I didn't have one of those exes get me on the back, wouldn't have gotten dirt bikes. If I didn't have my mate invite me out drifting, I wouldn't be building a drift car right now. So it's like one of those things, like once you do find it, it's just like you got to go hard at it, because you don't want to like live your life and die regretting not spending more time doing the things that you love.
Yeah, it's such a small opportunity, really. Like if you live for, say you live for 70 years, you know, the first whatever your kid don't get the chance to even think about them. The last ones, who knows? But small opportunity to do the things you really love, isn't it? Yeah. Really?
Yeah. I remember one of the videos that always sticks in my head is one of those. It was like one of those jar videos where they put in all the bowls, and like the big bowls is the amount of time you spend sleeping, so that takes up half the jar. Yep. Then the other bowls are your work, and that takes up the rest of it. You know what I mean? And it's like, now how much time do you have left doing the things that make you like really happy? And I remember that video always stuck in me. I'm like, wow, those little, even if they're just little bowls, make those the best. Like, yeah, and that's what I'm just.
They got to be gold.
Gold. Yeah, just it doesn't matter those foam ones because they're shitty anyways. It's just like those gold. That jar's gonna be worth way more than anyone else's jar. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Can you explain happiness? That feeling. What's that feeling like? Of the drift car or the bike? What can you explain that to me?
You're putting me on the spot here. Happiness. I don't know. I feel like my happiness is when I've got adrenaline running through me. Yeah. Every time I'm happy, my adrenaline's pumping. I feel like I can express myself and no one else is around me, and that's why like a lot of people ask me like, oh, you know, once you get in a wheelchair, I mean, everyone does it. I don't care if you're one of those people that have asked me. They're like, okay, what wheelchair sport are you going to do in the Olympics? Like, it's like always Paralympics, and I'm just, or they'll be like tennis or this, and I'm like, I'm not a team sports player. Like, that's why I love the dirt bikes, I think, and that's why with the drift car, it's like I'm on my own. It's something that you could just completely rely on yourself and pushing yourself. You're not relying on anyone else to get you further. Like, it's all on you, and I think that's what makes me happy is when I'm on my own. That's why I like to travel on my own, come here on my own. I've had, you know, people want to like come road trip with me, and I'm just like, okay, fine. But I like deep down, I just want to do it all on my own.
Your independence, like, I've got some friends that couldn't do the stuff you do. Like, in all seriousness, like even just the communication of getting to this point to come here today, I'm like, no shit. Some of the stuff, I'm like, you want this? No, all good. Don't worry. See you there. See you there at 12:30.
Yeah,
So I'm like, okay, no worries. So your independence must be, take away the chair, take away the lot. That's probably something that you've always been as a character, I'm guessing, yeah? Just a solo?
Yeah, I think so, but more so now. More so now with the wheelchair. I think beforehand, I was like that. My first race, riding dirt bikes, I rocked up on my own. My ex wasn't that he was interstate, and I had a girlfriend come and support me, but like I'd rock up to the track on my own. Like I did do those stuff, but like I wouldn't dare to like come here and do this without like having my sister with me or like, I don't know. I just wouldn't even do it, to be honest, where now it's just, I'm on a different level now.
Sibling relationships are hard. Have you always been good with your sister?
No.
No?
No, like as in like we fight like so much, but since my accident, like, and not that we never not loved each other, but since my accident, like shit, like now we hang up the phone saying like I love you. Like I wouldn't even say it to my sister, but now it's like love you. Or if I hang up on her and she says love you and we like I just miss it and I hang up, she'll text me, she's like, you didn't say it back. I'm like, I love you. Like, where especially through the accident, I think I've just matured a lot and realised that you can't hold grudges. Like you can't, like it ends up hurting you more than it hurts the person, and it's just a waste of time. So when me and Irene have our little tiffs, like we don't even do that now. We just resolve it straight away, and now we're like the best we've ever been.
That's a cool relationship, isn't it?
Yeah.
To be like that.
Yeah, and I know because I have other people message me like, I wish, me and my sister, we fight, and like, or they say I don't talk to my sister, and I just feel sorry for them because it's like, you kind of need to like nearly die to realise that that's pointless. And like these people just live and they don't communicate, and I get it. Like you can't choose your family, but sometimes some aren't good for you, but like there's things, like they say, like don't fight over a paper bag.
Yeah, pick your battles,
yeah,
hey? And grudges go forever.
Yeah.
Like quite literally, it's like sometimes you're like, really? You can have a grudge about that for forever?
It's just on your shoulders. They don't care. Like, yeah.
Explain the accident.
I would if I didn't knock myself out.
Yeah.
Part
leading up to.
Yeah, part leading up to it. I was back at the place I first ever learned to hit a jump, SA Ride Park. They had it was like a 50-foot jump with a big tabletop pushed up to it, where like that's where I learnt to jump. So I was casing it, and then finally learning to clear it. Where this day I went to another jump where they didn't have that big tabletop. It was like a proper ramp, gap, landing, and generally I'm always nervous. Always have to do like a nervous poo before a race and stuff like that. Sorry, too much information. But it's true. I don't know, a lot of people will be able to be like, yep.
Here now.
Yeah. So always had nerves. And I remember I used to say I had a rule with myself when hitting a ramp. If you don't hit it by the third jump, forget about it, because then you're just going to psych yourself out. Like if you don't, you're going to have to conquer it eventually, so you just might as well do it by the third jump. So I used to do like 3 speed checks and then do the jump at SA Ride Park. This jump, just I wasn't familiar with it. The run up had lots of rocks and I was just like, nah, I could feel my back tire like kind of like sliding around. So I was like, nah, you know what, let me get the mat. So I grabbed the mat and got some of the guys to help me bring a mat over to get more traction for the run up. And it was just all these like little things that I was like fixing up and doing, and I was just already more nervous than I usually am, plus on a new jump. So I knew I was just like, fuck it. And I had that attitude like, fuck it, you got the rule, like you just got to go do it. And I knew I knew I was doing it like too short. I knew I was going to land short. And I remember jumping and that's where the memory stops.
That's it.
That's when the memory stops. I crash. The people that were around me all seen me. The bike hits the top of the deck. Actually, I'll try to show the camera so you guys can see. So the bike hits the top of the deck, and the jump that I normally hit back in Victoria, it had like a really smooth transition from the top of the deck to the lander. This one was very sharp-edged. I don't know how to explain that. And when the back of the wheel hit the deck, it kind of just like went like that and then like landed like that and threw my bike forward, and I didn't expect that. My legs have come up. I've landed near my bike. So the bike's gone like this. My legs are flipped up. I've fallen on my head and shoulders. The back of my bum has hit my head. So I full scorpioned. They all heard my back snap. My bike just rides off. It rides off all the way like 10 meters and just falls on the ground and only gets like scuff marks on the handlebars. I took all the impact. It's just crazy. And I was knocked out for like 5 minutes. They all thought I was dead because I wasn't waking up. And all I remember was when I was waking up on the ground, just like felt like someone literally was just stabbing my back, like just with a knife in my back. I was in so much pain. I knew I was paralysed because they were down at my legs saying, you know, can you feel this? Can you feel that? And I was just like sitting there. I'm like, nah. Like I could just see them at my feet. I'm like, I can't feel that. Just asking for the green whistle. Another friend of mine, Geordie, was messaging me the other day, and she reminded me that apparently, like, and this will happen to everyone that's paralysed. Anyone that paralyses themselves, immediately you feel like your legs are floating. Mine felt like they were up. So even though I knew I was paralysed, I remember like I was just on the ground asking for drugs and asking for them to put my legs down. I kept saying like, put my legs down. Even though my legs were flat, it was just, pretty full on moment.
Were you amazed at the outreach after that?
Like from the accident?
Yeah.
I can never, ever, I can't even, it actually hurts me knowing that I can't repay and thank everyone individually for the amount of support, messages, just anything. Like I remember being back like in hospital and everyone's just like, oh, how is she so positive? I'm like, how am I not? Like, how can I possibly sit here and feel sorry for myself when I have so many people, especially the motor community is huge, and motor community behind my back, everyone, social media, a lot of riders, Nobby, you know, like all these brands I still, you know, deal with, LSKD, like it's just people reaching out. I remember I was in ICU and like Robbie Madison was giving us a call and I was like, oh, that's cool. You know what I mean? Like it was just incredible. Like I could never thank everyone. And so if anyone's listening to this and they did anything, send me a message, whatever, thank you.
Because one of those things, like you would have, you know, turned your phone on at some point.
Yeah.
It would have been a weird thing, you know. It's a different world at that point.
Yeah, like Bruce Cook was messaging me. I was like, oh my God, cool, Bruce Cook. I was like, sweet. And he's like talking about bowels and stuff. He's like, do you know what manual stimulation is? I'm like, what? Google that. I'll let you guys Google that. So, anyways, it was really surreal, but
yep.
like, yeah.
And that's, I guess, at this point is day one of education of new life, isn't it? You know, you start again in a different way.
Yeah, oh, definitely. Like, I feel like when someone was saying this as well, like asking me, like, am I really in tune with my body now? And I feel like that. I think that's why I love who I am today compared to who I was before, because I really focus on myself, my body, how I'm feeling, you know, like I think people forget that the brain is an organ, you know, just as much as you have to eat. I mean, we can't talk about like drinking Coke.
Yeah, it's not good.
Not good, but like just as important eating healthy is, it's like you got to treat that brain the same, you know what I mean? And I really had to focus on that in rehab.
How was like your rehab stage? You obviously had great support and everything. How was that though? Was it, obviously you tackled it head on, but was it tough rehab, or how did it work out for you?
It wasn't tough. It was just gross because like everyone's shitting themselves in rehab. Yeah. It was just like an environment. You just like, I want to get out of here. You could smell the bloody. It was just gross. And I remember saying that to the nurses. I was just like, how long do I have to be here? Like, you'll be here for 3 months to 5 months. And I was just like, no, I'm not. Who's you know, left this rehab the quickest? And they're like, oh, we had a guy. He left in like 2 months. I was like, sweet, I'm getting out of here in 2 months then. And it was like a couple of days before 2 months. I was like, sweet, got out. Made them give me the list of like everything that I had to check off, and I was like just checking stuff off earlier. But again, it was just kind of like fun for me because, I mean, besides all the dirty stuff that you have to deal with and learning all that, like that was kind of like shit. Like, gotta trying to learn how to live. Like even like brushing my teeth how to brush my teeth, how to put shoes on, like trying to do that at the same time as having so much support coming through and trying to communicate with everyone, having family coming and visiting. It was just like, it was a lot that it's kind of like a blur.
Really? It just disappeared.
Yeah. Like, well, it's just, and you're on a lot of painkillers, like a lot of drugs.
I guess there'd be still pain through the body, yeah? Like, 'cause there's so much shock going around your whole body too.
Yeah, you're in spinal shock for the first 3 months, which means, like, I couldn't even feel if I was hungry or full for 3 months. So I'd sit there and just eat and just, like, not know when to stop. And I'd, like, look at my food and I'm like, okay, I think that's normally how much I eat, so I have to stop there. And then actually that was one of the difficult things in rehab. I remember dealing with the phantom sensation. Best way to describe it is like amputee chops gets their arm taken off and they say they can still feel their arm.
Yep.
Exact same feeling that we get. Like, right now I can think about my left toe. You know what I mean? Like, wow. I can think about, I can feel my legs right now just because I'm thinking about it, and it's like a phantom sensation. So for the first few months in rehab, that was actually probably the most painful feeling in rehab. I remember I'd try to go to sleep. I started listening to meditation music just to get to sleep because that sensation would be burning, and it just felt like your legs were on fire. And they would try to give me pregabalin, like this nerve blocker, and I never took it because we just read the side effects and I was like, God, that's bad stuff. So that was a bit of a struggle.
Sorry to bring these questions.
No,
I just wanted to ask you that you've probably been asked hundreds of times, but I'm genuinely intrigued and I've read heaps and kept up to date. But yeah, I'm interested in that whole thing. With now, you know how you said at first, but your legs felt like they were lifted up? Do you still feel that?
So that happened, I would say, for the first 8 months. So it's kind of like that spinal shock. So what it is it's your body. The best way I think that I can describe it is for 20, I don't even know how old I was. I think it was 23 maybe. For 23 years, my body only knew how to, feel my legs and my body. And then all of a sudden you stop, and now your brain's trying to process how to, comprehend not feeling it. So it's just everything is enhanced, the pain in my legs, even though I couldn't actually feel it was fake. So your legs would always feel like they were in a different position, or my brain would always picture my calves tensing and my toes pointing, even though they were fine. It was so weird. So I reckon I remember, because I did a post, I think, about the 8-month mark. I was like, shit, I don't have that anymore because I'm not focusing on it. Wow. I was getting on with focusing on transfers. I had my dogs. I was vacuuming. And then I realised, I'm like, oh, my God, the doctors were so quick to try to chuck pills down my throat, get my body addicted to pregabalin, this nerve blocker pain, which, mind you, was on a current affair not long ago as well. So if you're on that stuff, try to get off it. It's a really bad drug that a lot of people in Australia get addicted to. But they're so quick to, chuck these pills down you. It's like, no, you just have to get used to it. And eventually your mind, same as with anything else in your life, whatever you focus on is going to be enhanced in your life. If you want to focus on the negatives, you're just going to keep finding more negatives. I stopped focusing on the pain in my legs and focusing on transfers, vacuuming with my dogs, social media, and then the pain in my legs goes away. Unless I'm talking about it now, it's like, okay, now they're kind of tingling.
So the physical part's not there, it's your brain's...
No, it's the brain.
It's all the brain.
Yeah, so, and I use, sometimes, I'll move my leg and I'll hit it or jam it into something and I feel pain. I'm like, fuck, maybe I can feel my legs. And then I'll burn myself in the shower, like a 3rd-degree burn, and not even notice it. And then I'm like, okay, nah, definitely paralysed. But it's just crazy how powerful the mind is. Like, I'll see someone stub their toe, my toe starts throbbing, but I can't feel it. It's so crazy.
Wow, that's...
Yeah, it's so hard to explain, but it's weird.
You know how people say, it's very old saying, like the brain's a powerful tool and everything? Shit, it's a powerful tool, hey? When you start talking about that, phantom pains, referral pain from somebody else's pain.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Do you ever take any CBD or anything? Did you ever go down that path?
I did try smoking some weed, and it did the opposite for me. That's why I never did it again. If anything, it made me focus on the pain. So I'd smoke weed after I got back to rehab. I was like, let me just try some weed because I can't handle the back pain.
Yep.
And I wanted to get off the endone because that was just driving me nuts. And then I smoked weed and I couldn't go to sleep. It was like my brain was just like ticking, and I was like, okay, no, I'm not going to do that. CBD oil I haven't tried, mind you, and I do want to try that because it doesn't have the THC in it, so that will be something I probably might try eventually. I just haven't got around. I'm so used to back pain, it's like, whatever, another day.
Just one of those things when you're talking about the blockers and the things that they try and feed you directly.
Oh, I would 100% suggest to anyone to not
go that path.
If you're going to do anything, start smoking weed, do CBD oil, look at anything natural.
Away from that.
Away from prescribed medication, 100%.
Yeah, because it's just so easy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Here you go.
And people forget that. It's just like these guys have a business to run. Current Affair put up a article, a show on it, program, and it showed how much money the company that owns, I think it's Pfizer. Honestly, I think it's and they're in the big pharma or something, and they put don't quote me, but I swear it was something like they invested $10 million in Australia to teach all the doctors how to sell this pregabalin drug to everyone that has nerve pain. So it's people tend to forget that everyone else's agendas isn't to help you. And I remember saying that to myself in rehab. I'm like, these people don't care about me. Not the nurses. Love the nurses. Shout out to nurses. But the doctors and some doctors and the other people, I've got to be careful because I do know some doctors.
Yep.
But they don't actually care about your long-term side effects. You have to do the research and you have to focus on yourself because other people don't care. They just care about the money.
Something we said before the show started when we were just talking here, the only person that really cares is you.
Yeah.
You know, if you're going to find something out, you're going to have to do it yourself.
You have to do it yourself. You have to.
Everyone cares, but you've really got to do it yourself, hey?
Yeah, 100%.
That it's a funny conversation I had with someone about the big pharma and that. I was like, oh, surely. And this was in the vaccine topic, which we definitely ain't going to touch.
No. I'm happy to not touch that.
We're not even going to
Please,
talk COVID, right? But this was
there.
about that. But it was surely these companies aren't, making money. And have you looked at what money pharmaceutical companies make? Yeah. Have a good look. It's insane.
After my rehab, I was getting into it, researching who's behind big pharma. Yeah. I'm sorry if you don't believe in that, but it's kind of common sense. If you really think about it.
Oh yeah.
It's common sense what people's agendas are. It's always about money. It's always about money. Yeah, everything. Everyone's agendas. So you got to focus on yourself, rely on yourself. And I remember saying that to myself, these people aren't me. At the end of the day, they are not going to be in my body for the rest of life. They don't care what side effects this is going to have on me 5-10 years down the track. Because I remember when with this pregabalin nerve blocker, we read the side effects and it said, oh, that's right, I was in Adelaide Hospital and I hadn't had any.
Yeah.
The first night they gave it to me, I was 2 weeks out of my accident, was the first time I woke up crying. And I've never, the pain, and I was waking up crying. It probably had nothing to, I don't know, it might have been to something random. I'm not blaming it on that drug. But disclosure. I'm not. It was just, I remember just crying. I'm like, why am I crying? Why am I so emotional? And I'm in pain. I feel uncomfortable. And we're what did you give me? Because we knew they gave me something else, and it was this pregabalin. We're you know what? Let's just research it. And then it said, one of the side effects: do not take if suicidal, because you may commit suicide. I'm why would I be putting that down my throat? No, thank you. If you read the side effects on a lot of things, it's just why are people putting these down their throats?
And that's the thing. A lot of people deal with chronic pain, chronic illness, whatever. The next thing you have something that makes you emotionally imbalanced as well.
Yeah.
It's you're already going through a tough thing. Chronic pain is a terrible thing for people.
Yeah.
Next thing you put something else in your body that creates an imbalance.
Yeah.
It's it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
There has got to be a better way.
Yeah, definitely.
And the heads are
I think the best thing that I've learned is not everything, but a lot of shit can be solved with your mind and looking after yourself and what you tell yourself every day and what you feed yourself. And I mean, I got the worst diet, but to some extent, yeah, I know.
Sponsored by Coke. But that, 100%. How did you get your mind well? How do you get your mind well?
In rehab?
Yeah,
it was
turn it on.
Like I was saying with the organs, a muscle part, you're doing your bicep, girls, you want your biceps bigger. My brain was getting the biggest workout in rehab. I I mean, you always think to yourself, but like focus on think of what my thoughts were. I don't think I've ever focused so hard on what was actually being said in my own head. And I remember seeing examples of like what could go wrong, and you know, even some paralyzed guys like messaging me like, oh, I get it, you know, like you're doing well so far, but like don't worry, like it's gonna hit you, like reality will hit you soon, so just be ready to expect. And I just remember thinking to myself, I'm like, why do I have to go down this depression and feel sorry for me? And I'm like, why can't I just keep staying positive? And I remember saying to myself, like, when those people would message in, or when I would see someone, I'm like, oh fuck, I can't do that anymore. As soon as I would say that to myself, like, no, snap out of it and like say another 3 things that you can do. And I just focused on that. That's what got me through that. I went through a really dark stage of my life. Not last year, the year before. Kind of last year too. I went through some other bullshit. Not injury related.
Yeah.
And again, I had to do that same exercise. Like, all right, back in the gym with the brain, we're going to do this. Even if you're like thinking all negative about a certain thing, just keep focusing on these positives and getting yourself, like we said, like coming here today, like I was doing stuff that I didn't want to do, like get out the house, catch up with this person, do this, because eventually, even though you don't want to do it, even though if you don't want to go to the pub and see people and be around people, you'd rather be in bed eating Netflix. Sorry, it's been a long month.
How's that pre-workout?
Yeah, I know, that's what it is. The brain's ticking over too quickly. Yeah. Even though you don't want to do those certain things, just do it, because eventually it's going to snowball, and it's like a snowball effect, and like eventually you're going to like get into a better mindset. And yeah, that's just how I operate, I guess.
And those neurotransmitters, if you start to open up a pathway and make that pathway, it will change. Hey,
what did you call that? I haven't heard that.
Neurotransmitter.
No, I've never heard that before.
Oh, really? It's like a like a neurotransmitter is like a pathway. I'm going to sound so stupid, right? But I do know. But
yeah,
I know the basics of it. But imagine a pathway.
Yep.
If you create like a tunnel where you get to a point where you're like, gee, I don't want to go out. You're never going to break down that pathway. Mm-hmm. So to open that pathway is just one door opening it. You gradually go out to such and such. You go out to the pub and see some friends. Then you do it again. And then the next thing, that pathway is broken. You've rewritten that neuro pathway, basically.
Yep. So, and that's exactly how I feel with the Queensland, like what I was saying to you earlier. Before, it's like I just have to get here, because I know once I get here, the pathways, look, I'm doing a podcast with you, I'm meeting up with other people, like I know it opens the door up to all these other opportunities. I could have easily just stayed at home and just which I did, like stay in bed all day and just like sit on my phone on TikTok. But yeah, you got to take that like first leap, and then everything else will come to you as well. It'll all come. Yeah. How do you like Queensland so far? I love it. Yeah. My soul belongs here. I always say this to people. Like, I mean, I'm currently seeing a guy, and a lot of people are like, God damn, that dick is making you happy. But it's at the same time, I'm like, but people don't understand, like, every time I come to Queensland, you'll see me at my best. Like, I'm my happiest when I'm in Queensland. I'm always it's just the weather, the vibe. Our mutual friend, Mitch, we were talking about this. We were saying I feel like everyone on the Gold Coast, you know, like no one was really brought up in the Gold Coast. Everyone moves here. It's so transient, yep. Yeah, everyone moves here because they're choosing a better life for themselves, or they're just chasing their own life. Nothing wrong with staying in your own hometown and growing up and not moving and all that stuff. But like I feel like here, it's just, it's a life that I'm choosing instead of like settling for, if that makes sense. Perfect sense. Yeah. Yeah, it's coming to you because you've chased it. Yeah. Why Rottweilers? Why? Yeah. My dad had a gorgeous Rottweiler, Caesar. And, I remember just dad and, like, mum, back when they were together, they had, like, these awesome photos. And I'm like, God, they look so cool. Like, as a couple back then with this, like, tough-looking Rottweiler, looks so scary. And just growing up, just seeing that. And then when it came time to, like, being an adult and not renting, I was like, oh, I can get a dog now. I wanted a Rottweiler too. So I got one. I couldn't keep my old Rottweiler, but she did have puppies, and I got to keep her daughter, so Nala. She's at home, and they're just the most cuddliest, affectionate, beautiful dogs. They really are, aren't they? Do you have one? I've got a German Shepherd. I had a German Shepherd first.
A German Shepherd, but I had a German Shepherd Rottweiler before.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, they're just same temperament, I feel.
Yeah,
you know?
definitely.
People get put off by them a bit because they look and go, oh, that's going to be a big, scary dog. But the amount of love you get, total different story.
Yeah, no, I had a German Shepherd first growing up.
Yeah.
Max, typical name. And then, now Rotties, so.
Yeah, so it's Nala, hey? How old's Nala?
2, because...
Going to come to Queensland?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I think if I move over in June, if I come up earlier while my house is getting built, I won't be able to bring her for that because I might have to rent an apartment and I'll be a little bit restricted. But Dad is just like stoked on that. He's just like, Nala can stay here because Nala doesn't even have to come to Queensland. Like my dad will walk into my room and he'll be like, all right, love you, darling. And I'm literally will be like about to reply to him and he's looking at Nala and patting him like, oh, he wasn't even talking to me. Like he loves my dog. So, yes, he's going to be upset because you can't both leave me. I'm like, I'm sorry. But, so by the end of the year, hopefully Nala will be up here in Queensland too.
Nice. How did you meet a man?
Meet a man.
How'd you meet your guy?
Okay, interesting story.
Because you've got nothing off limits. You told me that.
Oh, no,
so,
there is nothing off limits. So we can go down to...
How'd you meet your guy?
Okay, so I was completely put off men and I have lots of reasons. And I'm sure a lot of girls are like, I was completely put off men. So I was like, you know what? I am sick of putting my energy into going to a guy's house, doing the deed and like just feeling like nothing's come from it. And I was sick of it. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to detox from men. I'm not going to have sex with men and I'm not going to see men. And I did that for 16 months. Then I started taking these JS Health vitamins, like libido vitamins, because I completely lost my sex drive as well. I was on the depot injection, birth control, fucks your female hormones. Lost my sex drive, started taking these. I was like, okay, you know what? I think I might get back into this dating scene. I was procrastinating a job and I was just on Instagram and I just said it as a joke. I was just like, oh, I should download Tinder and bring you guys along with me because like I just feel like if I do it with social media, I'm not alone. Even though I am alone, I'm not alone. And I put it up on my Instagram, started putting up everyone's responses to Tinder. Like my Tinder bio was something like, excuse me, sir, my wheelchair's broken. Can I ride you? So like I did it. So like I knew I was going to get some smart ass responses back. And the responses were hilarious. Like one of my favorite ones, a guy messaged me and he was just like, what did he say? Finally, a girl that can't run away from me. It was so funny. So I was sharing that all on my Instagram. And this guy, Bob, as everyone knows him, because I'm not giving his real name out yet, he messaged me on Instagram and just laughed at it. And he goes, haha, like, this is gold. And I, like, checked his profile out and I was like, goddamn, his body's nice. I'll reply to this one. And I replied to him and we started chatting and we just, like, we're talking about dating scenes and we're saying how, like, you can never, no matter how much you talk to someone online, you don't actually know if you're going to connect or vibe unless you meet up. Like, you don't know what they're like. So we're agreeing about that. And then he's like, okay, so, like, do you have tomorrow lunch free? And I was just like, oh, shit.
Just becomes real.
Yeah, it became real. And then that's when I blocked him. Blocked him off my stories. Yeah, I blocked him off my stories. And posted. I did this massive paragraph. And I tried to find it the other day because I accidentally deleted it. And I'm literally writing on there and I'm just like, guys, like, I'm going to meet up with a guy. Like, I don't normally post, but I'm nervous and blah, blah, blah. And I remember I had so many girls message me, like, just support. Like, I had never had so many of my Instagram followers so invested in my own personal life. And it actually just, like, drove me to, like, you know what, fuck it. Like, let's do my own bachelorette show on Instagram. It's like reality TV, if not more reality, because it's not scripted at all.
This is real.
This is real. And so many people were loving it. And I was like, fuck it. And I, caught up with him and it ended up being really, really good. Like, we caught up then again the Sunday. The Monday, he flew back to Queensland and everyone's just like, oh, no, like, he can't go to Queensland. Little, like, did anyone know that I was moving to Queensland too. Now I'm in Queensland. We're just having fun at the moment, going around waterfalls, doing all that fun stuff. Went on my first date last night before. And, that's where we're at now.
Just happiness.
Just like chasing. Again, that was another fear of mine. Men. Like, making myself vulnerable. For example, like here, like I feel like I'm vulnerable because I'm on a mic and I'm being recorded, and at any stage I could say something wrong and be judged on. But it's like that. I'm at that stage of my life where it's like you got to ignore that because you're gonna miss out on such great experiences and miss out on like dating a really good guy because you're scared. Like,
how do you let your guard down? How do you do that? Like that's because we're all guarded.
Yeah.
But if you've been hurt, you're probably even more guarded. So how do you do that?
Very well. You don't fully.
Just can't.
I only let a little bit down, and I'm still like, and it's really hard because like, when I was talking to the girls the other day, and I was just saying like, I didn't realize how traumatized I am from my past until I met Bob, because he doesn't know this. Like, he doesn't know the anxiety I've been dealing with. I won't tell him because I don't want him to like, man, this girl's fucked. But like, he'll do, like, he won't, like, for example, like, I don't even know what to use as an example, but he'll do something or say something that kind of like throws me back into the past. And I'm like, oh shit, is he going to then do this? And then my anxiety goes nuts and I'm like panicking inside. And then he'll be the complete opposite and prove that he's the complete opposite of what I was even thinking of.
Manifesting.
Yep. Yeah, and it's just like really, so I haven't properly let my guard down. I'm still protected because of those things, but like he's proving to me like slowly that it's like, you know what, our minds can ruin so many opportunities, and our minds really can defeat us or, you know, let us live our best lives. And that's what I'm trying to keep at that attitude, like just keep having that positive attitude. Even with this, and even if it fails, at the end of the day, I'm at a different level of confidence now where I'm like, you know what, we can get back out in the dating scene.
And the door's half opened.
Yeah.
You know, hopefully it's great and everything's good, but instead of being completely closed off, it's sort of half open.
Yeah, now if another guy messes me up, I'm like, you know what, I can do this. And now I know what standards I want.
Yeah, now I know how they should act or whatever.
Yeah.
The tablets, what do the tablets do?
The libido tablet.
What do the tablets do?
Oh, this is not a sponsored ad. But, oh my God, Jay's help if you want to hit me up. Because I am a perfect example. You know how like, Jesus, like, you know how they have like the weight loss like before and after, like use that as adverts? They should use me for like this girl didn't touch a penis for 16 months compared to like nymphomaniac right now. Like, and I'm paralyzed. I can't even feel my vagina. But, oh my God, these pills are amazing. They just, I don't know what they did, but like I read some of the ingredients and they just help you. I think it was a lot of the ingredients are with stress actually. And that's what made me believe in them.
Yep.
That's actually a reason I bought, because I'm like, oh, how can these pills make you more horny? Like, that's bullshit. And then I was like, let me read the ingredients. And a lot of the main ingredients were natural products and saying like, you know, like, I can't even think of one, but this has proven to let the brain relax, and when it had stuff mentioned about your brain and causing less stress, I was just like, I believe in this, because I feel like your mind is like the most powerful tool, and if it isn't stressed and if it is relaxed, then you can actually enjoy the best things in life. And
that makes sense.
Yeah,
it really does. Like, because if your mind's elsewhere and you're thinking about everything else in the world, you can't get a chance to think about it.
Yeah, you can't enjoy what
the good things in life.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So it does. That's what I mean.
How far into are you?
2 months, and I'm like double dropping them while I'm in Queens, because I'm just like, oh damn, like I'm double dropping them because I'm like skipping sometimes, like shit, we'll double drop. I'm like, I don't know if you can overdose on these, but well, we'll find out. But like I'm 2 months in, and the girls that are messaging me, I'm like, do at least a month and more. And that's another thing, just with in general with life.
Yeah.
All the questions you've asked me today with positive thinking, health, like one of the biggest things that I'm so aware of is that nothing is, you know, can be done overnight, and it's something that no matter what, it has to be worked on. You can't just get to a certain level and you got to, everything takes time with the body and the mind. Like, as long as you understand that, I feel like a lot of people give up earlier when, you know, they don't see the results, and then it's just so much easier. Like we said, it's so easy to talk negatively. It's just natural for us, same as giving up a certain thing or chasing a certain goal of yours. It's just easy to be like, fuck it, put it in the too hard basket and just give up on it.
It's so easy, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I guess consistency. That's the big message, isn't it? Like if you can do something consistent, you'll be able to change it.
And let yourself have a day off, like, or fuck up, or have your bad day or whatever. That's fine. You deserve a break, but get back on it. And like keep chasing it.
When everyone went home, like you're in rehab, right?
Yeah.
And go back to that. When everyone goes home, what'd you listen to?
As in like music wise?
Yeah. What'd you do?
Honestly,
Or did you just stay with yourself?
Music. I just love music. I honestly it's just funny because like with this podcast, like who have these like chill music, I'm like, man, I don't even have a chill album on my phone, eh? Like it's just straight bangers. Like I just listen to, but because like the way I think of it is like my brain just like ticks off with like happy vibes and having a higher like heart rate, and I'll just listen to music, or I'll be watching Netflix or movies that make me happy. I don't consume. Like I don't want, like, don't get me wrong, I'll love a true story, like, if
like
it's
true
sad.
crime sort of thing.
Yeah, true crime. Like I do watch those stuff, but I think it's very important with how much negative stuff you consume, because it does all affect you. It's just something I read. Your brain can't recognize, if I was to say, you're a mean person compared to I'm a mean person, my brain won't actually tell the difference between when I'm talking about someone else or myself. So even if you're referring to someone else as being a mean person, your brain's telling yourself you're a mean person. So it's like, it's very, I just learned to not consume too much negative stuff. Even if I'm just watching it as a bystander, it's still going to affect my mental health.
For sure.
Like, yeah, so that's why I just like listen to anything that makes me happy.
Because it's one of those things, like you've had some time where you've probably been alone, driving your car a lot by yourself.
Yeah, bangers.
I was wondering what you listen to, but it's
now I didn't listen to podcasts, and now, honestly, like the other day I spent 6 hours listening to podcasts. What was that? It was on YouTube, mainly podcasts, like trying to learn about NFTs, just like crazy stuff. And now ever since then, like again, cliche, new year, new me. But I'm like, I feel like, oh my God, this is the year I'm going to be listening to podcasts now. Like I feel like it's important to be soaking up educational things or things that are going to benefit you or give you, like I listened to a mate of mine, Ollie, sent me a link of, God, I forgot her name already. It was a snowboarder that had she was a pro snowboarder and her partner died, and she was just like, she did this documentary, and I listened to it, and it just reminded me the other day, I was like, you know what, I got to do more of this. Like I need to consume more of this type of content than scrolling on Instagram or TikTok for like hours on end. Like educate myself.
It's like I'm 37.
Yeah, right.
I got to a point where I got to a thing where I was like started listening to podcasts, and I started, like, I was never a book reader, still not a book reader, but I've listened to a couple online and like audibles, and I got to a point I'm like, I don't listen to music as much now because I'm like, I need to learn more stuff.
Yeah,
like, I'm
that's
dumb.
how I feel. Honestly, I've downloaded, because while I've been at the hotel with the Wi-Fi, I've downloaded probably 50 hours worth of podcasts.
Yep.
And YouTube, like it's literally new me. Like I'm like, this is me now. Like I'm going down I'm just going to educate myself. And how I was talking to you before, I was like, you know what, Christina, like, why don't you like listen to more podcasts? Because you might want to do a podcast one time, and you're only going to learn if you hear about it. I do not read books. I haven't read a book since probably like grade 4. So I'm the same.
What was it?
Probably Too Cool, something, one of those the thin books. So I used to go in primary school and go to the library and pick what level I was and pick the thinnest book. I wouldn't even care about the title. It was the thinnest book.
Yep.
And then through high school, my best friend can back this up, never read books. Every essay I had, I'd pick a book that had a movie to it. Boy in Striped Pajamas, Romeo and Juliet, just watched the movies to them, did my assignments from the movies, pretended that I had read the book. Like I can listen to this stuff.
Well, that's right. If you can, not everyone can do that.
Yeah.
Like we're all different in different ways. We're a good student.
Yeah, goody two shoes.
You were?
Yeah, really good. Like my mum's a teacher, my auntie's a teacher, my other auntie's a teacher, my cousin's a teacher. Like,
oh, geez, education's there.
Yeah, and it wasn't that. It was just like having my mum as a deputy principal, always going to the staff room and seeing these teachers outside of the classroom in real life situations. Like, oh wow, like teachers actually have lives, like they're humans. Like I had a different level of respect for teachers. I was just always a goody two shoes in school, always like SRC, like, and then like got to like year 12 and I was just like, ugh, fuck this.
It's all over. I wish I had that. You know, like when you're young, you don't realise that people are...
People.
Yeah.
Everyone is a human, no matter what uniform,
Yep.
no matter who they are. Like, and I had that. I remember I built friendships with my teachers because I was like, I might see at the barbecue this weekend. Like, you'll see someone in uniform, and then you see them outside of school. You're like, oh my God, you see a teacher in like the supermarket. You're like, oh my God, yeah, they have a life, or they're out partying. You're like, shit, like, I got my cousin in trouble because she's a high school teacher, and I was putting up at FOMO, like her twerking and stuff. She's like, Christine, you got to put it down. I'm like, oh yeah, right. Students will see this. I forgot you have to have a life. You can't have a life outside of school.
And that's the hard part. Like you lock them into like an authoritarian position, like because they've not bossed you in school, but they've spent their time on you in school, like and not talk down to, but this is how it is and stuff. You get out of there and they're just trying to live their own life, like all of us trying to find our own way through it.
Yeah, so that's,
weird thing.
I say that about just adults in general, like with Dad. Like Dad calls me his therapist because he goes, I learned so much from you, and I'm just like, Dad, like I thought my whole life adults had it figured out. Like I always thought, like when I'm older, I want to be like my mum. Don't get me wrong, she's got her shit figured out. But like I always thought that adults would always be more educated and more knowledgeable.
Yeah.
And then like now I'm like, no, like everyone's trying to live their own life. Wives are getting cheated on, husbands are getting cheated on, divorces are happening, families are getting illnesses, businesses are, losing, like people are losing business financially, don't know, like people are gamblers or spending their money on drugs or smokes or
NFTs.
I haven't spent any money on NFTs. I'm just educating myself. But it's just like everyone's just trying to go through life and no one's better than anyone else or whatever. Do
you reckon anyone's figured it out?
No.
Nah.
No.
I don't reckon.
Maybe what's that bald guy, Buddha, whatever, probably. He's
probably got it pretty well dialed.
I think he's got it pretty well dialed, just peaceful and just like zen.
He's probably, like, out of anyone, like that path seems to be the most figured out than everyone else's, I feel.
That's how I feel. Like, I feel like with my life, it's just like last night, like did a Q&A and everyone's just like, like, what do you do for work? And all like, and I used to think like, I've really got to do a job and have a job, and just like, why? Like, why? We weren't born on this earth to work. Like, I guess a lot of us have to. I'm in a position that I'm fortunate enough that I don't have to because my income still gets provided to me. But I'm like, I don't know why people think, like, or a lot of people message me like, yeah, but it would be good for you to go back to work. And I'm just like, I think the ultimate goal in life is just to be happy. Like, and no matter what it is you're doing, working, are you happy?
Yep.
Like, you've got one life, and I think it's just being happy and helping others. Like that's the two ultimate things, I reckon. If people can figure that out, I reckon they're on the right path.
Yeah, giving back. Giving back to something. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if it's something that you can do, that's got it. It's a nice feeling.
Yeah.
Like that.
And that's a bit.
That's so rewarding.
It makes you feel good.
Yeah.
And it makes the other person feel good.
Yep.
It's like, why wouldn't you? Like that's, I post so much on my social media simply because like the messages that I get that I never share, but like it's just like, yep, cool. That's why I do this. Like if it can just help one other person.
What's the worst you've had?
Message?
Yeah. Like I'm sure it's not all.
Oh, it's just like dirty ones.
So you get that?
I get dirty as in like, yeah, they want to like, or like, oh baby, like I'm going to make you squirt. And I'm like, dude, like, I can't squirt. And you obviously don't know that I'm paralyzed. Like, just weird shit. Like, I get weird shit like that. Or negative, I've had not a couple. Like, not a couple. I mean, a few ones that are just, like, giving their opinion about something. Like, for example, me tanning. I had a girl message me. I never replied to her. I had a girl message me. She was just like, I'm so disappointed in you promoting tanning out in the sun, melanoma kills most people, blah, blah. And I remember just sitting there like, I don't care about that because I'm like, as in like, sorry, I care about that. People shouldn't die. But I meant like, I'm like, she doesn't know that I need vitamin D. When I don't have vitamin D, that's why I'm fatigued. My injury, just my body needs vitamin D. I've iron deficiency and all that. And I'm like, I'm using some. She doesn't. I got tanning oil, but it's got 30 SPF in it. I'm doing every safety precaution, and who is she to like tell me like, I don't know. I honestly, if I read stuff, I just like don't even bother replying to it. I just don't give it my time and energy.
Yeah, it's a good way to be.
Yeah.
That is so wrong. Like the tanning part. Like, come on, seriously.
Yeah.
Like,
It's a lot of people thinking that it's my responsibility
as a role model.
And don't get me wrong, like I love to be a role model. A girl messaged me like saying that her 8-year-old daughter looks up to me and it's like, I want to, do things like Christina can do it. So I love that, but at the same time, it's everyone's responsible for their own lives.
Yep.
I don't see. There's people out there injecting heroin in their body. I'm not doing that because that's my choice. I don't want to be doing that shit.
But you ain't going to shoot them a message.
Yeah, exactly.
And, just look after yourself.
Just look after yourself. If you don't like something, one big thing I did as well after rehab, best thing I think I ever did was anyone I was following on Instagram, for some reason, I don't know, back then, now no one bothers me now, but like I had a couple people that like would post stuff and I would just be like, ugh, like I would just like annoyed because of what they posted was like just wrong or negative, like not wrong, their own opinion, just made me feel a different way. I unfollowed everything. Celebrities, a lot of influencers. I want to say influencers. I mean like the model girls that had like, the best bodies. Nothing wrong for that, but I was just like, it's making me feel like I need to be like that, so I just like unfollowed it all.
Gone. Yep.
Yeah, and now my Instagram, like you scroll like through my Instagram, it's just like drift cars, people living their life, 4-wheel drives, just like content that I like. You know what I mean?
It's going to keep you happy.
Yeah, keep me happy.
In a good place.
Yeah.
You 27, you said?
In March, so yeah.
So 26 now.
Yeah.
So you're in a time where you came through that, like you would have come through high school when social media was just sort of rolling along. How's it changed us?
How it's changed us?
Yeah, as a
I think
like you would have missed a bit of it.
Yeah,
I'm guessing.
I'm trying to think. Instagram came out. I'm trying to think when that came out. Like honestly, I think it's connected us, which is great because like I think it's hard for me to think negatively at all about social media because of all the connections I've made through it.
Agreed.
And I think it can be very negative or very positive depending on what you choose to consume.
Yep.
And that, like, even now, like the other day, I was like started following all like these motivational people and like stuff like Will Smith or like just things that make me.
Will Smith.
I fucking love Will Smith. I love Will Smith.
He's good.
He's good. Like, you know what I mean?
But he's a positive
dude.
Yep.
Positive dude. The Rock.
Yep.
Will Smith.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, I don't follow other celebrities. Like, I don't follow. I was following the Kardashians, for example. I love them. Yep. I love the Kardashians. Like, a lot of people can judge them, whatever. I think they're great. I love their content. I'm like, they're beautiful. But I was like, no, but I'm not following. What's it benefiting to me? Looking at these body figures that I'm not, like, they weren't, spreading positivity-ness or like something that could educate me in some way. Will Smith, The Rock, I just feel like I can actually get something out of that. So that's why, I'll follow them.
And that's it. I think it's like a hammer. You can kill someone with a hammer, or you can build a house with a hammer.
Yeah.
Same with Instagram. It's a tool. If you use the tool in a positive way, it's a great tool.
And don't get me wrong, there's like there are a few girls, like I follow Michaela Testa, gorgeous girl, OnlyFans, there's nothing wrong with following gorgeous people and people that you think are 100 times more gorgeous than you. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just like, sorry, don't even know how to speak right now. Just seeing, like controlling how much you're going to consume of it and how your mind thinks as you're looking at it now. Like, I'll see some of the girls and everyone I follow that, uploads like whatever they upload, I feel happy for them. So as long as you're getting that type of reaction, where Kylie Jenner, like, I don't know who's Kylie, like she's someone I don't know her. So it's just pointless information going into my head, seeing what fucking nails she's got on.
Because you've got such a small capacity to take stuff in.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you try and fill it with all this gear.
Yeah.
You're like, let me choose what I want to take in,
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I've completely lost my track of thought after talking about social media stuff.
Oh, good, we could go on for ages, social media.
Online, right? Couple of articles, couple of things, call you an influencer. Are you an influencer?
It's so
And
weird.
how does that feel?
Bob was like influencer. I'm with him, and I'm up.
Yeah.
I don't.
Like, I don't think that. So.
I don't think I'm an influencer. I don't categorize myself as that. Like, because in my head, I think an influencer is not an influencer, but not an influencer. Like, they go on Instagram and their job's Instagram. They get paid. Hey, we're doing a deal.
Yeah.
Mick's paying me this much money to advertise. This like, kind of like sellouts. I want to be not completely, but like, you know what I mean. Like their focus is making money.
Do they really believe in that?
Do they believe in that?
Yep.
That's why I don't get paid by Nobby. I don't get paid by LSKD. I don't get paid by anyone that I promote on my Instagram. And I know, because one of the girls was talking to the other day, she's like, you should. I'm like, I will only sell what I genuinely believe in and I genuinely love and feel, and I like to be authentic. So at the same time, it does influence people because I am authentic. So I know, like, I don't want to call myself an influencer, but I do know I influence some people's life decisions, because a lot of people do wear like Nobby now. They'll message me like, I love Nobby, and I'm like, yeah, see, it's sick, it's cool gear.
And it's like, I see yours more as, I don't know if you like this term, but you're a role model to other people more.
Yeah.
Like you offer advice.
Yeah.
More so than selling something. You're offering authenticity and advice, as well. That's what I sort of see. If that's an influencer, maybe, I don't know. But I see that and I'm like, oh, I don't think you're an influencer. But you've got product on there that may have sold because of you. So you've influenced the decision.
Like, I've got one of my mates, he's got these nano flashlights and he's brought this brand up, and I'm like, oh, he's genuine, one of my best mates. And I genuinely like the product and I love the product, and I put it up on my Instagram, and I made 10% of his sales that first month. And I think that's a pretty good percentage. I was just like, promote me, Kane. But I said to him, because when we were doing it, I was like, people can believe what I say because I don't have any reason to benefit.
Yep.
He didn't pay me for this. That's just my mate, and I genuinely love the product. People, I think, can see that and they will believe what I'm saying. And
with your friends and stuff, like, we should all be leveraging each other's good things and bad things off each other. Like, if you can, you do this, that's how we should all, that's how communities work.
Yeah, and that's why, like, his family will always be like, what are you paying Christina? Because I'll be there for 12 hours boxing his stuff, and I'm just like, and I would say to his mum and stuff, I'm like, these guys do so much for me. And not that it should be, he said, he done this, so I'm going to do, like, but they lift me to places, they take me forward driving. The amount of times they've got my wheelchair in and out, they'll go grab a glass, even some simple things like grabbing a glass of water. Like, they do so much for me to help, make my life easier.
Yep.
I can at least, like, let me do something that can help you, like, in some way. I feel, like, half the time I'm useless, especially if we're out forward driving and everyone's bogged. I'm like, well, sweet, I got to stay in the heater because I can't get out and help you guys because I'll be bogged in the sand too.
Do you love forward drive?
I love it now. Like,
because I see a rig downstairs.
Yeah.
You've got a rig, so you obviously love it, yeah?
First time going off-road was up in Queensland, met up with some social media friends, hadn't met them before.
Wow.
Made friends. They're like, we'll take you to Bribie Island. Got the car off-road. Came back. My mate Kane took me to Coorong, sand dunes, and now, like, went with Bob to the Glasshouse Mountains because I can't forward drive a lot because I'm on my own, and if I get stuck, then I'm stuck, the wheelchair's stuck, we're all bogged. So when I was with Bob, I was just like, sweet, it started raining. I was like, can we go off-road? Because, like, I've got you. And now that I know I've got you with me, like, we can go fuck shit up. And I did, and I fucked my wheel up, and it's all right. Like, he changed the tyre for me. It did all that. I was just sitting there on my phone. But, yeah, I love my car. Like, I think my car's my, my biggest love.
How'd it feel driving a car again at the start?
Scary. Like,
Was it?
I was scared because I was like, oh, my God, like, how am I going to get used to the hand controls? But the moment I got into the car, I was just like, it's crazy. Because everyone's just like, everyone asked me the same question, like, is it hard? Is it hard? I'm like, if I got you to drive my car, it would be hard for you. Okay. Because you would naturally go to put your feet on the foot pedals with me. As soon as I got in, I realised, oh, shit, like, I've only got my hands. So it was so quick, so easy for me to quickly adapt to. And, yeah, like, I love it. And that's, I think, the same thing I'm going to have with a drift car. Like, people are like, how are you going to do a 3-speed automatic, drift around a corner, have the handbrake on with like just hands. I'm like, I don't know. Like, we'll figure it
Make
out.
it work.
We'll make it work.
So with your car now,
Yep.
is it Ranger?
Yep.
So with your car, you've got, I'm guessing you've got like the forklift hand, the knob on the steering
Knob
wheel?
on the steering wheel. So when I go around chuck a Youre.
So that's for that. Throttle? Where's throttle?
Throttle wraps around, so it kind of like wraps around my hand like that.
Okay.
Like this headband, hair tie. I'm so sorry. And it's got a lever like a quad bike does.
Oh, like a trigger.
Yeah. And it's a Bluetooth satellite, so it's just like your hand can be absolutely anywhere, resting on the steering wheel, resting down here. Press on the lever and it goes.
That's incredible.
But because it's Bluetooth, it lags sometimes, and I've pulled out in front of a semi, and the throttle hasn't activated, and I'm just like, shit, like go, and then it will take off. But with the drift car, it's going to have a steering wheel and then another O-ring in front of it. So wherever my hands are on the steering wheel, my thumbs can activate the accelerator.
Wow.
It's not going to have that. It's not Bluetooth. It's, oh my God, I don't even know. I don't know anything about drift cars. Something wire through.
Fly-by-wire.
Fly-by-wire.
Is that what it is?
Whatever that is. What you can tell me what that is. Whatever that is. And yes, I'm not going to have that issue.
That's what they have on the sports bikes and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so for like basically you get instantaneous throttle.
Okay, so
that's what you're going to get for your
that's
drift
what
car.
it is?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so I knew it because I haven't seen it, and that's why with my drift car I've been going there and watching the guys, Dean and build my drift car, because it's like, I don't know this stuff, and unless I see it with my own eyes, I won't learn about it. This drive-by-wire, I haven't seen it yet.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So literally, like, it's your car now is Bluetooth.
My car's Bluetooth, but the drift car
will be that.
Yeah.
And what about brakes?
handbrake. No, and then the handbrake pushing forward will do the normal brake, actual 4. I think I've got 2 brake calipers on the back ends.
Yep.
And yeah, so we'll just brake like a normal car would when pushing the handbrake forward. Pulling back will be the handbrake, 3-speed automatic gearbox. And yeah, I've never drifted before, so it's going to be interesting.
Oh, I can't wait to see you drift. It's going to be great. It's exciting.
I'm so keen. Like, I'm like that excited, and that's why it's taken nearly. I got my car to Dean Rossiter's workshop in April this year. I had some other stuff go down where I spent a lot of money on some other stuff, so I had to put a pause on the drift car. But it's been a long process since I got the shell. It's been nearly 2 years. Actually, March will make 2 years.
Jeez.
April will make 2 years since having the shell. So I'm not too fussed about how long it's taking, only because of I just think of all the fun and excitement I had with the dirt bike. Like, that was the best time of my life, riding my dirt bike, jumping that dirt bike. Like, I'd finish work early, go straight home, put the boots on. Even there's photos of me like still in my supervisor uniform, and I've just got the moto boots on and the helmet, and I've just gone out riding. So I'm like, shit, it's nearly dark time. Like, I got to quickly squeeze in like 10 jumps. I feel like that's the same with the drift car. Like, it's going to be that exact same, like, history repeating itself, but in a drift car this time. And that's why I'm not too fussed how long it's going to take, because I'm like, when we get to that, it's going to be amazing.
And you can do it forever.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. It's like you always be able to do that.
Yeah.
You know, as well. Like, it's the new motorcycle sort of thing.
Yeah. That's like Toby Price, we were talking about before. We're having this conversation, like, you know, with age, get a cage, because he wants to go down that path, I think, too. Cause,
it's a good path.
Yeah, it's a little bit safer. And I said to the Dean, I was like, Dean, I'm like, if I kill myself this way, I'll probably be burning myself alive. So we'll put a firebomb in the car. So we're getting a firebomb in the car, trying to put all the safety precautions in. But
Jeez, going full Hollywood.
we have to, though.
You do?
Well, not that. I say to myself, like, I've already ended up in a wheelchair.
Yep.
The chances of me doing something crazy again,
Did you ever think you would?
No.
No?
Never. I mean, when I was even riding dirt bikes, I remember Emma McFerrin and Katie Lucas.
Yeah.
Vicky Golden wasn't even hitting ramp, or was she hitting ramp? I think she was only whipping ramps. Like, she wasn't doing any tricks, and there was only like a few, like those 3 girls when they were hitting jumps, and I've looked up to, and I'm like, man, like, if these girls can do it, like,
I'm on.
I can do it. Like, and same with the drifting. Actually, there was no girls with drifting. It was Chair Slayer, Rob Parsons. Sorry if I said that wrong, Rob. In America, chair slayer, he drifts, and I remember seeing him, and with the riding, I had that attitude like the boys can do it, I can do it.
Yep.
They've got 2 arms, 2 legs. The only difference is their mindset, and I just have to change my mindset to a bloke. And that's literally, I would say that. Like, I'm like, dude, like, you're a dude. Like, the boys can do it. Like, there's nothing different from you to the men besides what's between our legs. And with the drift car, I had Rob, and I seen this paralysed dude drifting, and I was just like, if he can do it, like, I'm going to do it. So
You're in.
yeah, I mean.
Do you get like, and I'm going to be one of these people in a second, but do you ever get people like, oh, such and such is disabled, you should check this out? I guess you get that a lot.
All the time.
Have you heard of Alex Zanardi?
Who?
His name's Alex Zanardi.
No.
So he was a Formula One driver.
Yeah.
Right? Then IndyCar, and he had a really mad accident with the IndyCars on some
What's
banking.
a IndyCar?
Like, NASCAR, like the
Yeah.
banked.
Yeah.
So they have like the IndyCars, like the go-kart looking open, like a Formula One car.
Yeah.
But on the big tracks. And
Right.
he like had a huge incident sort of thing. But he came back, like he was the best in the world at that time.
Yeah.
And come back to now like full hand control racing cars over in the US.
Yeah.
And like, it's incredible. Like
Yeah.
just the brain power that it possesses to be able to do everything through here. I just
Yeah.
appreciate it so much. And I didn't want to be the person, it's like someone from, say, New Zealand.
Yeah.
Oh, you're from New Zealand? Oh, do you know such and such? They're
Yeah,
from New Zealand.
yeah.
I didn't want to be like that, but you know what I mean?
No,
like some of these stories,
but
it's like, wow,
No,
that's
but
incredible.
That's what you need. Like in rehab, that's exactly what I
Yep.
need. When I was in rehab, I had so many people, like other paralysed people, messaging me and like giving, like not all of them, but some were very. They weren't trying to be negative. It was just like, you're gonna have your bad days. Like don't get ready. Like it's gonna be shit. And it was just like, I don't want to hear it. And I'd like search Bruce Cook and look at him, and then I would like search these other paraplegics, quadriplegics, people that were just like doing life and using them. I was like, okay, I feel like as humans, you look back at 2008 X Games freestyle competition, seeing the tricks that they used to do back in 2008 compared to what they're doing now.
Yep.
And that's because once someone does it first, then it's like, okay, sweet, we know that's possible. The human can do that.
Yep.
Now we need to go further. Same thing with like, people name dropping others. People, I like it. I like when people name drop, because I'm like, okay, well, this paralysed person does this. I can do it too. And I think like that's why I want to be that person as well for people in rehab, especially being a female, because 80% of paraplegics or people that come from spinal cord injuries are males.
Is that the numbers?
Yeah, 80%. And it was like 50% was like car accidents. So the most is car accidents. The second most is water injuries, all from diving into shallow water, jumping off your mate's back. And that's why if anyone's around me with the water, I'm the mum. Like, I'm like, jump in with your feet first. Do not dive. Like so many diving accidents. And then after diving, it is extreme sports, which mostly it's like males dominate that. But yeah, and then they were telling those statistics. But I guess the shit I was doing was a bit full on.
80%. Wow, that's a strong number. How'd your relationship with Nobby start?
Nobby, I love them. I've been an OG from 2014. When I started dirt bikes, because they were in the dirt bike scene. Who were they? Was it Dylan? Not Dylan. Long something. No. Who am I
Trying to think who their first, not first, but their early ambassadors would have been.
Yeah, I'm having a mental blank right now.
Because Rob that owns it's a mad motocross guy.
Yeah.
Like, loves bikes and stuff as well.
And I remember they were just in the moto scene, same as LSKD, like moto scene. So like you're always repping, like you want to be, you're a proud moto person, repping what the moto people were. Nobby, I was following them before they even had female like range. I was just like, I love this brand, like so sick. And then they're like, we're gonna bring out a female one. I'm like, yes. Like I subscribed to the first one, so I got the first female sports bra. And I love their stuff. It's just I think I resonate with people or brands that are unique, authentic. You know what I mean? And and especially Aussie brands. And then when about 6 months before my accident, I actually emailed Nobby. And after years of being subscribed to them, and I emailed them. I remember I was just like, I felt bad, but I was just like, I'm sorry, guys. Like, I need to unsubscribe because I'm going to try save money for a house. And I felt so bad. Like, are you sure you want to cancel? I'm like, yeah, I need to cancel. I need to save money. Cancelled, had my accident, and Nobby was one of those brands that like had donated thousands to my GoFundMe, and I was just like, wow. And then they subscribed me for free. And I was just so grateful for that. I was like, fuck, I actually love Nobby. And now I'm getting like, now I don't have to like worry about like buying it, but I can still wear something that I love. And I've met Rob, and Rob's a legend, and I met the crew earlier last year when I did a photo shoot. That all amazing. Like you just know, like anyone that's a part of Nobby's it's a great family and network to be involved with.
And it's just proper passion.
Yeah.
You know, you get to hang around some of the people from them.
Yeah.
And they're just so passionate about everything they're into.
Yeah.
Not just their own brand. Like just, you know when someone listens to you.
Yeah.
And you go, they genuinely listen to what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Love it.
I love it. And that's what I mean. Like, and that's why I was having this conversation with one of the girls the other day, and they were just like, do you not get paid by Nobby? You post so. I'm like, no, I love them. Like I love their brand and I love what they do. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I mean, it takes time, and I get like, people like get paid for something, but I just generally love them. Like, I don't like the stuff. They flew me out to Queensland to do this photo shoot. Got a free tattoo. You can see it there, the mermaid. From them and stuff like that. And then, I just think they're just a good bunch of people. And I feel like, what goes around comes around. And, it's just great company. And I'm hoping to see them this weekend. So fingers crossed that goes ahead.
Awesome. LSKD, have you seen the new facility?
No, I seen their new facility online.
Yeah.
And I think...
do you know where it is?
No, is it...
It's really close.
I know where the old one is, but I don't know where the new one is.
So the new one's closer to here.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
so like if you're coming back down the freeway, it's like 6 or 7 minutes away from here.
Yeah.
So I have to tell you where it is on your way back for your way back to the coast anyway.
Yeah, see Jason on Facebook. Like I've had him on Facebook for ages, and like I see all that, like his family, like it's just gorgeous family. I'm always like love react to all their posts, and then I seen the warehouse. I'm like, it's just I think it's cool when you've like been wearing their stuff for so long. I mean, I was a little bit late to the party, but, back in 2014, started wearing that stuff. And that, again, they sent me clothes and just freebies, and I'll wear their stuff. I'm actually wearing LSKD now.
Yep.
Like, I'll wear it, like, again, like, not sponsored, not influenced, like, not like, it's just because I genuinely love this brand. Like, same vibe, same,
I'm a local to here. So Jason's a local, he went to the school over, and to see their journey, like you're saying, like, just love what they've done.
Yeah,
like,
and just stoked to see.
House.
Stoked to see someone succeed and do well and get people involved and evolve. Like I love like when I seen them change from LKI. Jesus, I already forgot. LKI to LSKD, and I could see. I was like, I just see what Jason's doing here. Like he's evolving and he's adapting, and it's just like growing bigger. And I love that. Like
it's huge. And like you look at like I'm a video person, obviously that's my job, and I was seeing there's a job pop up with them crew the other week, and it was for a TikTok video creator. I'm like, wow, a brand has to employ that now. Like, and that's a huge brand. Like they're like growing brand, and that how things change, eh?
Yeah, I was thinking that we was having that conversation with someone else. It's a content creator as well. That's his job. And I'm like, it's crazy. Like the stuff that they would do, but like, God, what a sick job that would be.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah. Sometimes you look at it, wow, that'd be pretty cool. Rebel Wings for Life.
Yeah.
How'd that come about?
Robbie Madison giving us, Robbie Madison when he rang, he's just like, like there's, Red Bull Wings for Life, that put a lot of money into spinal cord injury research and stuff like that. And because I'm not big on donating, sadly, to like big foundations like cancer ones or because I just in the back of my head I think of like the people that are at the supermarket trying to get donations are getting paid. Who is paying their bills for being there that day? Red Bull, they sponsor the Wings for Life program. So the Wings for Life World Run that happens every year, Mother's Day, that my favourite event of the year, like hands down. recommend if anyone wants to go to something that, even if you're not a runner, because you can run 100 meters, 200 meters, it doesn't matter. It's the best vibe, same as what we're talking about, Nobby, LSK, like it's just the right atmosphere, right? Red Bull actually sponsor these events. So Red Bull will cover the costs for holding these events and all that. And then all the money that gets donated goes directly to spinal cord injuries research. And yeah, Robbie got me hooked up with the guys at Red Bull, spoken to a few of them, the owners in Sydney, the guys that run it in Sydney, I've met them in Melbourne, and yeah, just they're amazing crew, another good bunch of people.
So good event, hey?
Yeah. Have you done it?
No, I've looked at it a few times, and I've obviously got a few friends within that sort of area. It'd be interesting to do. You
will love it. Like honestly, because it's like I can't describe it, but like when you're there and you know everyone around the world is doing it at the exact same time, and the biggest key thing is that the fact that you don't need to be a runner, because it doesn't matter how far you run, there is no finish line. You have half an hour to get as far as you want, whether you want to walk, crawl, skip. You've got half an hour, and then a catcher car takes off, theoretically, and it chases you down. Once it chases you down, you're out of the race. So it's just, cool vibe.
It'd be awesome.
Yeah.
What's your future?
What
do you see?
I don't, honestly, like, I feel like I've held off those thoughts until I come to Queensland, because I feel like Queensland is where my future will become a lot more clearer. And again, new year, new me, but like this whole podcast stuff, like listening to podcasts, listening to YouTube, and now after today, like honestly, and after even you, thank you again for like offering to help me, but like honestly, I think like it's something that I might possibly do. I might start a podcast, get to Queensland, start drifting, maybe get into more of the YouTube stuff, and not for like gaining followers on the like I don't care about the subscriber. It's just like more like putting more passion and effort into what I'm producing on YouTube. So then one day when I look back, it's not going to be like this like shaky phone like recording me drifting. Like I want to be able to look back and be like, there's a sick video edits that I've got of me drifting and stuff like that. So I feel like at this stage, it's going to be me living in Queensland, filming and YouTubing my drifting journey, possibly starting a podcast. Actually, the most realistic thing now, I'm just going to state it now, that I'll probably do a podcast. I'm saying that out loud because if I say it out loud, that's how it happens. Yeah. That's my rule. If I say it out loud, I'm doing it.
It's in the universe.
Just like I said to Bob the other day, I'm like, I'm getting a nipple piercing on my way home from Queensland. So I've said that out loud. That's going to happen as well.
Are you just going to stop at a truck stop or something?
No. I've got a mate in Griffith. I'm like, I'm going to book in with her and get it done. But cool. Like, if you don't say it out loud, it doesn't happen.
Yeah, it doesn't happen. That's where your car is? Griffith? Is that where you...
my drift car, yep.
Drift car's there?
Yep, New South Wales.
So you obviously know people there. That's why it's there. And
honestly, no. Like, I put up when I bought the shell the shell was in Tassie, and I put up a story saying, does anyone have or know anyone that has an LS1? And Dean Rossett had been following me for years, and he reached out and messaged, and we just got along. And again, I'm like big on vibes, connections with people, just genuine people. And Dean's another absolute legend. I'll do anything for. We connected really well, and I was like, fuck it, well, I got the motor off him, and then I was like, I'm going to leave my car with you and get you to build it. He hasn't done a drift car. He does restorations and all like old school cars and stuff. So he's like a perfectionist. So like my car is a nightmare for him because mine is like a complete mess, but we're getting there. He's like, I want to do a paint job before I leave. I'm like, no, Dean, can't afford it. We're not doing it. Yeah. So
wow. So it's getting built pretty well.
Oh, everything's getting fab, like everything. That's why everyone's like messages me. Like I get, like when you ask me about the negative comments, like I'll get guys being a bit like smart asses. Like, why don't you it would have been cheap if you just done this, or why don't you do this, or you're doing this wrong. And it's just like, I don't care. I'm doing what I want to do, and I want to build a car. And I love the fact that Dean's fabbing everything, like the cross members, the exhaust, everything is custom fabbed in it. Like it just makes me feel like I've got more of a sentimental value to this car, because not only has one of my mates built it, but it's been built, not bought.
Yeah, there's passion in it.
Yeah.
You know, like we said about the brands before.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Something with your hand, there's something to
it. People got to realise it's not always about the end journey, like getting in the car and drifting is going to be great. It's the process of everything. Yep. You've got to enjoy the whole process, and yeah.
Great I reckon that's a great spot to end this. Because that is exactly how life is, eh?
Yeah.
The end of it, whatever, but it's the journey that makes you there.
I remember that with the freestyle, same as that. I was like, as long as you're enjoying the journey, like that's the most important thing. You got to enjoy that. Otherwise, the end destination's not going to be as good as you think it is.
100%.
Yeah.
Where can people find you online? You're already found online because you're an influencer or whatever, but where can people see you online?
At Christina_Vithoulkas, spelled Vithoulkas. On Instagram, they can find me there, and you will find plenty of stuff and in there if you want to look deep enough.
And there is a YouTube channel as well.
Yeah.
You've got a couple of vlogs on there, I guess, as well, and that'll continue to grow, I guess.
Yeah, the Driftcast. I've got about 4 out. I need to do another one this week and upload that. So if people want to follow the progress and me getting out drifting for the first time, which is going to be very exciting. Spoiler alert, I'm going to have Drift Squid, Jake Jones, a mate of mine that's like amazing drifter. He's going to come out and go drifting with me for my first time. So I'm stoked. I'm excited.
Awesome. Well, thanks, obviously. If they're still listening to the end, which it's a fair way in, but to Mitch and Izzy, obviously, getting this hooked up as well. Mutual friends, so
you.
That's awesome.
Guys, legends. Thanks for letting me stay at the house.
Awesome. Thanks heaps, hey, and thanks for coming in. And I'll be seeing you around everywhere in Queensland, no doubt.
Thank you, Vic. Thank you.
Nice. Cheers.
Bye.
My
God, that was sick.
That's all we have time for on today's show. If you get the chance, head over to YouTube and hit subscribe on the Talk and Chatter page. Also, head over to iTunes and give us a star rating and a review there. It all helps to get the podcast out there. A big thank you goes to everyone that's been doing this already, and we'll be back with another show soon.